Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, feeling like something is just off? That's what happened to me last Tuesday. My eyes snapped open, and the first thing I saw was my digital clock. Bright red numbers glowed in the darkness. 12 o'clock, midnight, not 12:01, not 11:59, exactly midnight. A strange silence filled the room, the kind of silence that's so deep it feels loud. Even the usual city hum from outside my apartment window was gone. I sat up, my heart starting to thrum against my ribs like a trapped bird. I strained my ears, listening for anything. A passing car, a distant siren, my neighbor's perpetually barking dog. Nothing. It was like the world had been put on mute. I swung my legs out of bed, the floorboards cold against my bare feet. A shiver ran up my spine that had nothing to do with the temperature. I crept over to the window and peeked through the blinds. The street below was empty. Not a single car, not a single person. The streetlights cast long, eerie shadows, but nothing moved within them. It was a ghost town, my ghost town. I checked my phone. No signal. The Wi-Fi icon was grayed out. Weird, I muttered, my own voice sounding foreign and loud in the oppressive quiet. I tried to open a few apps, but they wouldn't load. It was completely dead. A knot of dread tightened in my stomach. This wasn't just a network outage. This felt different. This felt wrong. That's when I heard it. A soft, rhythmic sound. Thump, pause, thump, pause. It was coming from downstairs, from the lobby of my apartment building. My first thought was the security guard, Mr. Henderson, doing his nightly rounds. But the rhythm was off. It wasn't the confident stride of a man walking his post. It was heavy, dragging. Thump, pause, thump. Curiosity, a stupid, reckless kind of curiosity, got the better of me. I tiptoed to my apartment door and pressed my ear against the cool wood. The figure wore tattered, dark clothing. I couldn't see its face. It was obscured by a matted curtain of long, black hair. But I could feel its presence, a palpable aura of malevolence that seeped through the door, through the very walls. Thump, thump, it was getting closer, halfway down the hall now. I wanted to scream, to run, to hide under my bed like a child, but I was frozen, mesmerized by the grotesque spectacle. My heart hammered against my ribs, so loud I was sure it could hear me. I squeezed my eyes shut, then forced them open again. It was closer still. I could start to make out more details. Its fingers were long and spindly, like spider legs, tipped with dirty, broken nails. They scraped against the wallpaper as it moved, leaving faint scratches in its wake. Thump, thump. It was almost at my neighbor's door, Mrs. Gable's apartment, 4B. The figure paused. It slowly, deliberately, raised one of its long, skeletal hands. For a terrifying moment, I thought it was going to knock. My mind screamed, "Don't open the door, Mrs. Gable," but it didn't knock. Instead, its spidery fingers pressed against the wood of her door, and just phased through it, like the door was made of smoke. The arm disappeared up to the elbow, and then the figure followed, melting into the solid oak door without a sound. I stumbled back from my own door, a strangled gasp escaping my lips. My hand flew to my mouth to stifle a scream. What had I just seen? It was impossible. My mind was reeling, trying to process it. But this time, it wasn't in the hall. It was inside Mrs. Gable's apartment, moving toward the shared wall between us. Thump, 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 a slow, deliberate march toward me. I scrambled away from the door, crawling on my hands and knees toward the farthest corner of my living room, pulling a blanket off the couch to hide under. It was a flimsy defense, a child's logic, but it was all I could think to do. The thumping stopped, the silence returned, heavy and expectant. I held my breath, listening, my ears ringing, and then I heard a new sound. A faint scratching. It was coming from my wall. The wall that connected my living room to Mrs. Gable's. Scratch, scratch, scratch. The sound of those long, dirty fingernails dragging against the dry wall from the other side. It was exploring the barrier between us, testing it, looking for a way in. My phone was useless. The world outside was dead. There was no one to call, nowhere to run. The scratching stopped, right in the middle of the wall. A low, guttural breathing sound started, seeping through the plaster. It felt like it was right next to my ear. And then, a voice. A raspy, dry whisper that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It wasn't a human voice. It was ancient and full of a terrible, hungry amusement. It said just one word. Found you. A long, thin crack appeared in the plaster of the wall. It spider-webbed outwards, dust trickling to the floor. Through the growing fissure, I saw a sliver of utter blackness. And from that blackness, a single, pale finger began to emerge. I stared, unable to look away, as the finger slowly, deliberately, pushed its way into my room. Then another, and another. A hand was forming from the wall itself. My wall, my home, my sanctuary. I finally found my voice, and I screamed, a raw, primal sound of pure terror. But I knew, with a chilling certainty, that in this silent world, at the stroke of midnight, no one could hear me. The hand continued to emerge, its spidery fingers unfurling, reaching for me in the dark. I don't know how long I screamed. The next thing I knew, sunlight was streaming through my window. The sound of traffic and bird song filled the air. My phone buzzed with notifications. It was 8:03 a.m. Everything was normal. I was huddled in the corner of my living room, tangled in a blanket, my throat raw. I looked at the wall. It was perfectly smooth. No cracks, no dust, not a single mark. It was like it had never happened. I tried to tell myself it was a nightmare. A horribly vivid, terrifyingly real nightmare. But then I saw it. On the floor, near the wall, was a single, long, black hair. And next to it, a faint scratch mark on the wooden floorboards. I haven't slept through the night since. Every time I start to drift off, I see those glowing red numbers in my mind. 12 o'clock, and I just know, that it's waiting. Waiting for the world to go silent again. Waiting for midnight. If you ever wake up and see the time on your clock, whatever you do, don't get out of bed. Don't look out the window, and for God's sake, don't answer the door. Just close your eyes and pray for morning. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this story, or if you've ever had a similar experience, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales from the dark. Stay safe.